Age of Sigmar Warcry, Ogor Mawtribes versus Ironjawz. Hey folks, welcome to another Warcry battle report between the warband that embodies the average Warhammer player's physique, fighting against the warmongering and bloodthirsty Ironjawz. For those of you who haven't noticed, there has been a release of a bunch of new Warcry warbands. So over the next number of battle reports, I'll be sprinkling in some warbands that I've yet to introduce on the channel, Ogor Mawtribes obviously being one of them. So without further ado, let's introduce the armies and flip some cards to see what is in store for this combat. For the Ogres in the Hammer squad, we have a Glutton with his trusty Gnoblar pal. In the Shield, we have the Leadbelcher leader with a Glutton and another Gnoblar. And to finish up, in the Dagger we have a mirrored copy of the Hammer squad, a Glutton, and a Gnoblar. For the Ironjawz in the Hammer, we have the big and terrifying Mega Boss who is looking to knock some heads. In the Shield we have the Ardboy boss leader backed up by two Ardboys with big choppas. And finally in the Dagger, we have three more Ardboys wielding some choppas and smashes. Now onto the cards. As always, we start with the Terrain card and get a Shattered Stormvault Terrain card. This one seems pretty open, so we shall see who can take advantage of the space provided. Here it is, all set up on the table. For the Deployment card, we flip over Dance of Death. Straightforward deployment today, and each warband's Dagger squad will join the fight in round 2. Off camera, I rolled for the two warbands deployment, and the Ogres will take the blue zone, while the Ironjawz will take the red. Next we turn over the Victory card and we get Cut Off the Head. A super simple battle plan today. Whoever takes down the opponent's leader first is victorious. Sounds like a good old-fashioned destruction match to me. And finally, for the Twist card, we flip over Azerite Lightning Storm. Each squad gets a new quad ability to use during the game. And by the way, this ability can target anything on the battlefield, so look out for lightning bolts, everyone. Now that all the boring stuff is out of the way, I will continue setting up the fighters on the battlefield, and I am sure it is going to be a bloodbath. So, without further ado, let's go on to turn 1 initiative. For the Ogors, they roll their 66, and end up getting a pair of doubles and a couple singles. For the Ironjawz, they roll up a triple and 3 singles, granting them the initiative. They will decide to hold off using any wild dice this round, and the same will go for the Ogors. That means the game will start off with the Ardboy boss, and immediately the Ardboy will use the Wah ability and grant all of his pals a slight movement boost. Then he will double move up and get behind the terrain piece, blocking him from the Leadbelcher's cannon. We then hop over to the Ogors where they are going to try and have some fun. The Thunderfist here is going to hop out right into the open and get barely in view and shooting range of that Ardboy there, and fire in. Hitting on 3s with 3 attacks, the Leadbelcher slams in 6 total damage into the Orc. But now the Orcs are not happy. The Orc that was shot at will run as far forward as his little legs can take him, but unfortunately, it is not within an inch of the Leadbelcher, so the enemy leader can still move around freely. This moves the turnover to a little tiny Gnoblar. This guy will move up, and with that barrel on his back, get just within an inch of an Ardboy and attack in. Hitting on 5s, and he whiffs with all of his attacks. The Mega Boss will go next and move up that boosted 8 inches to get in closer to the enemy leader, and then pass his turn. Then a Glutton will go and use the double 1 for the rush ability, moving him up and getting him right within 1 inch of the enemy Ardboy leader. And the last move for the Ironjawz will be the other Ardboy who must double move and get behind the Glutton that is rearing to attack into his boss. And finally, for the sake of time, the other Glutton and Gnoblar will get into better positions to help defend their leader from the Ironjawz that are soon entering the battlefield. After this, we end Battle Round 1. A shot has been fired and a number of fighters are in position to deal out some damage. But it is in Round 2 where the reinforcements enter the game. So, let's hop on over to Battle Round 2 Initiative. The Ogres start first and roll up the same thing as last round. They get 2 doubles and 2 singles. For the Ironjawz, they end up getting 1 double and 4 singles. They have the initiative, and keep in mind each warband has an extra wild dice this round. The Ironjawz will use both dice to make a double and a triple, and the Mawtribes will do the exact same. They will then roll off for initiative, and the Ogres will be going first. But before that starts, we drop off those dagger squads. Now that everyone is on the board, the battle continues. The Leadbelcher will go first and fire 2 shots at an Ardboy that just entered the battle. Shooting 6 shots, hitting on 3s, and fires off exactly 15 damage, taking down the fighter. The leader will then use the double ability Might Makes Right, and then make a bonus move action to scoot farther away from all the bad guys. The Ardboy boss will start his turn off by attacking twice into the big glutton nearby. He hits on 3s and deals in a massive 19 damage, but that glutton is still standing. And the boss isn't done, and will use the triple for the Inspiring Presence ability and give the nearby Ardboy a chance to go next. The Ardboy with the big choppa will go, hoping to take down this pesky glutton, hitting on 4s, and only deals in 6 damage, and this Tub is still alive. Now things will shift over to a little Noblar, and it will attack into the Ardboy right in front of it, hitting on 5s, and with both attacks deals in 6 damage, and that Ardboy is not looking good. This will force the heavily damaged Ardboy to go next and attack into the Noblar that hasn't gone yet. The first attack goes in, hitting on 3s, dealing 4 damage, and the second does the same, ending the little guy's life. The death of the poor Noblar leads to an angry and hungry glutton who will use the triple ability Bull Charge and double move forward, getting within 1 inch of the unsuspecting Ardboy. He deals in 4 damage from the charge, ending his activation. The Mega Boss will go next and is having a hard time deciding if he should help his leader on the platform, where there is not much room, or make his way over to the Mawtribes leader. And he decides to go on the offensive and use the rush ability to get a small speed boost. After he moves, the turn moves over to the Ogres. The glutton will go and then move up to the terrifying Mega Boss and attack at once. He hits on 4s and slams in 9 damage. Next, we'll do the last 2 activations for the Ironjawz for the sake of time. Both of these Ardboys will double move up, getting in close combat of the glutton, and more importantly, closer to the Leadbelcher leader. Things will move over to a Noblar who will charge his 8 inches up onto the platform and get in base contact of an Ardboy. And finally, we go to the last activation, the heavily damaged glutton who will attack twice into the Ardboy boss. He hits on 3s, and deals in 21 damage? You know, getting him just knocking on death's door. And that ends Battle Round 2. The Ironjawz have been outmaneuvered this battle, and their leader is sitting in a terrible position. They really need to go first this next battle round, so let's move on to some initiative. The Ogres will roll first once again, and they end up getting a triple and 3 singles. For the Ironjawz, they roll big and get a triple 6, a double, and a single. But the Ogres have the initiative and will turn their triple into a quad, and the Ironjawz will do the same. We now start the round with the Ogres, and they will do their best to try and take down the Ardboy boss for victory. The glutton has a strength value of 5 and is hitting on 3s against the boss. And after his 2 attacks, he pushes in a massive amount of damage, and the leader for the Ironjawz has been taken down. That means this game goes to the Frosty Ogres. So a little bit of a lackluster end there for the Ironjawz, but this was quite the showing for the Ogor Mawtribes. They pack a punch and have the health to be resilient to even the heaviest of hitters. What I was really disappointed in was the fact that we didn't get to see the Mega Boss get into too many scrums. Despite the board being quite open to fit his big base, he was too slow and had a tough time squeezing through to get in on the action. But that Leadbelcher leader, that Thunderfist, man, he can just shoot anything off the board. Blasting through an Ardboy and a half by himself is quite the achievement. But this will not be the end for either of these warbands, folks. Keep a lookout for more Ogors, Ironjawz, and a number of other new warbands that have been released as of late. And as always, folks, I want to thank you all for watching, and of course, happy gaming.